Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to the new theme of month of August 2021. This time we're doing multi-genre month, where I'm going to be reviewing films that are more than one genre in each film that I review. This is a re-review, but this is a longer re-review of a Star Wars movie that I saw a long time ago. Because on my old channel, this review was like 2 minutes. I wanted it to be a lot longer than that and better quality. Anyway, this is a 2008 animated computer CG epic space opera, action, space, sci-fi, fantasy, directed by Dave Filoni. Well, this is not his proudest moment. It's probably his weakest moment. It's the first fully animated film in the franchise. Takes place shortly after Episode 2 and at the start of the titular Clone Wars. And that is Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the 2008 movie. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is not a good movie. This should have been a TV movie on Cartoon Network back in the day. But granted, this is before the Disney merger, which I'll get to that. Uh, but this film has one of the worst plots in any Star Wars movie. This is the worst film in the franchise before we got to the Disney stuff. But, again, this was after the prequels came out, so people were not, like, interested. I mean, the movie made some money because it's Star Wars, but oof, this is hard to get through. I saw this on Disney Plus again after a couple years, and I'm like, it's still not. It doesn't hold up compared to the prequels and the original films. Like, it's just a TV movie. It feels like a TV movie. Like the way it starts with the invasion of the troops of against the Trade Federation and all that. I'm like, it feels like a TV show. It doesn't feel like a movie, like a feature film in the theater. One of the good things about the movie is the voice acting. I think most of the voice acting is solid, except for Ahsoka's voice in this movie. Particularly, she's very whiny and she sounds like she's 16 in this movie. Ashley Eckstein did a much better job in this show because they had time to develop her character and she grows up. And in the other shows like Rebels and the Mandalorian, they actually give her more to do. Here, she's just Anakin's bitch. That's basically what it is. I hate to say that, but hey, this channel's not for children, so remember that. This is the plot of this movie, and you brace yourselves. You're gonna hear one of the stupidest plots in any Star Wars movie. In the film, Count Dooku and Jabba the Hutt's uncle Zero the Hutt, yeah, he's a Hutt that can speak English for some reason. He sounds like this. He sounds like Capote. Orchestrate a plan to turn Jabba against the Galactic Republic by framing the Jedi for kidnapping his son. Granted, Jabba does have a son in the books in Zorba the Hutt's Revenge, but it's not that was not needed for an entire freaking movie. Like it can't tread water. Anakin Skywalker and his newly assigned apprentice, who comes out of nowhere, by the way. Ahsoka's intro is just as lame and out of nowhere as Yelena's is. Yes, I'm going back to that well. It comes out of nowhere. Like she's like, "Hi, I'm Ahsoka." She doesn't have a badass entrance like Leia or Padme or freaking any of these characters. I would have preferred to see Mara Jade in the storyline. I know it wouldn't make sense before Luke was born, but I would have rather see her in like an animated film because I really want to see that character done justice. Attempt to deliver the child back to his father. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Padme lead separate investigations to uncover Dooku and Zero's plot. Padme doesn't come into the film until over an hour in, and Zero, they don't show him until an hour into the movie. Here's the golden rule, people. Never introduce a new character about an hour into the movie. Unless the movie's 4 hours long, yeah. Don't do that. In a 99-minute animated film, don't introduce characters at the last minute. It feels like they're just forced in there. The voice acting is mostly good. I like Matt Lanter as Anakin Skywalker. It's not the voices from the prequels, but they tried. James Arnold Taylor, I met him at Comic Con. Good guy. It's a good voice of Obi-Wan. Tom Kane is the voice of Yoda. And two actors from the prequels are back in this movie that are not like signed forever. Like Anthony Daniels is in everything. He's always C-3PO in every Star Wars cartoon, movie, etc. But you have Christopher Lee, may he rest in peace, did the voice of Dooku again, and you have Samuel Jackson back as Mace Windu. But he doesn't have much to do in this compared to Episode 2 and 3. The budget was $8 million. Wow. this pocket change for Disney now that they spend. That's how much they spend on a freaking like to get actors for their freaking movies. But it made 68 million, so a decent sized hit, but it did not make the money. It made more Black Widow money than freaking Endgame money. Let's just say that, or Rogue One or something like that, which I didn't care. I didn't care for. At least the plot in that was not as stupid. It still had horrible characters, but the plot at least made sense. One of the only things that made sense in that movie. The film got largely negative reviews. Oh yeah, trust me, I was one of those people that hated this freaking movie because I'm like, you go from Episode 3, which is this emotionally dark PG-13 Star Wars movie, to this watered down, no blood, freaking CGI animated mess. And there's a lot of action in the movie. I give it that, but it's nonsensical because we don't know what's going on, and there's a lot of stupid humor here that didn't work. The humor can work. Guardians of the Galaxy did the humor really well. They had good action sequences, good character moments, and really good humor. Here, it's a bunch of droids falling, kill the Jedi, or whatever. Yeah, and it's just stupid. It's slapstick. It's better in the cartoon because it's short. Each episode is about 20 or 30 minutes. You get by it quick. Here, it's over an hour and a half, and it doesn't work. As an hour and a half movie, it should have worked as a TV movie. This is oh, excuse me. This is just like that Turbo Power Rangers movie that came out in '97. It didn't fit as a theatrical release. The budget was low. It should have been on TV because back then there was no streaming. So I give it credit for that. But yeah, the animation is okay, but it's better in the cartoon. The dialogue, oof, some of it is painful. Uh, they have like Stinky and the freaking Jabba's son burps. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see Jabba's son do, burp in Ahsoka's face. The action sequences they're okay, and releasing this as a pilot episode as a feature film was a mistake. Yeah, it just did not work. The film served as a backdoor pilot to the TV series. Again, Cartoon Network did a good job with that. Even though I first gave that show shit because the first season was kind of slow, it gradually got better as the seasons went on, especially at the end. That seventh season kicked more ass than any of the last three films that Disney did, easily. And who was the voice of Padme? Nikki Federman did the voice of Asajj Ventress, that Sith assassin with the bald head. Much better villain than Kylo Ren. Catherine Tabor did Padme. She sounds just like Natalie Portman. Matthew Wood was the battle droid. Yeah, he was General Grievous in Episode 3. Yeah, the reception it got was bad. I don't think it's an 18%. I've seen worse movies than this, but this is not good. That constituted the lowest Rotten Tomatoes rating of any Star Wars film. The previous six films ranged from 52% to 95, of course, because the original films are classics. And the made-for-TV Wax films, which I still like. I will stand by that. I enjoy those two movies because I grew up with them as a kid, and they're very fun films, except for the first 10 minutes of the second Ewoks movie. But other than that, the rest of the film I was invested. The holiday special, which is bad, but again, there's the original actors are there. That's more than I could say for the recent rehash trilogy. Um, yeah, and the consensus was mechanical animation and a less than stellar script make the Clone Wars a pale shadow of George Lucas' once great franchise. Oh, you don't know the half of it. Rotten Tomatoes. Go watch The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker. Those are way freaking worse when it comes to what they did to the fans. Like this was bad, but it was forgotten. And then we had a cartoon that was actually a lot better, like a few months later. So it was not. It didn't destroy the franchise. The new films already did that. You guys know how I feel about the new films. I hated every single one of them. Solo sucked. Rogue One sucked. Force Awakens. Yes, when I first saw it, I said it was passable. Then I saw Captain America: Civil War. I'm like, damn it, why didn't we get that as a Star Wars movie? Oh yeah, because Marvel's better. And even though they stumble with Iron Man 3 and with Black Widow, they still managed to get back up. Shang-Chi's going to be their return. But anyway, back to Star Wars. Several critics compared the Clone Wars to a Saturday morning cartoon. That's exactly what it was, but on the big screen. And I'm like, with SpongeBob, it worked. Here, it feels like a padded, three-part pilot episode of a show. And just like I said, the animation was the main criticism was that because It says it was cheap, wooden, and non-engaging an hour date at the time. The animation would get better as the show went on, and Rebels, the animation was much better, and the Bad Batch has way better animation than this. The only problem with that show is Omega because of her accent. It just doesn't fit in Star Wars. Roger Ebert gave the film 1.5 stars out of 4, and the characters have hair that looks modeled from Play-Doh, bodies that seem uh, arthritic, and moving lips on half-frozen faces. All signs that shortcuts were taken. Yeah, because they didn't want to spend like $200 million on this. Filoni did a much better, you know, job with the, especially when he worked on the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch and the seventh season of the show. Yeah, it got a golden raspberry. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. It's not a disaster movie. That's worse. That has no plot. At least this movie has a plot. It's just not engaging. And when I first reviewed it, I was like, yeah, I just wanted to do it to get out of the way. This movie's not good, guys. It's not. It's lumped up there with Rogue One and Solo. It's pointless. It's way too kidified. It's watered down. The voice acting is one of the only saving graces of this movie. And if you've never seen it, just see the TV show. You're gonna get a lot more excitement out of that. Or see the Bad Batch, see the Rebels cartoon, see um, anything else. Just don't see this because it's one of the worst Star Wars movies ever in existence. And compared to the original films, yeah, you can't even. It doesn't come close to being as good as that. And that's just sad to say because the prequels, Attack of the Clones had problems, but a lack of focus and the plot was way better than this. I mean, it wasn't a job of saving Jabba's son. Jabba's not even in Attack of the Clones, and at least that movie had better action sequences. Even the dialogue, as laughable as it was, I can stomach it over and all this stupid cartoonish bullshit. Yeah, it's just too much. And it's on Disney Plus. If you have kids, they're not going to care about plot, so they can watch it. But this is not for adults like me. I saw this movie in 2008 on DVD. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Or 2009, it was. My dad bought it on DVD. I got rid of it because I'm like, it's not needed. Even the commentary didn't save this movie. It's just lame. If you've seen this and you forgot about it, I don't blame you. It's bad. It's a bad Star Wars movie, animated or not. It's bad. We didn't need this after the prequels. I could defend the micro series. I can defend the show, most of it. I can defend the Bad Batch. I can defend the freaking Lego Star Wars, the Yoda Chronicles and all that. I can defend that, but this I can't defend. It's the worst before the Disney merger with Lucasfilm because that's when things went from bad to worse. And if you've seen all my reviews on my old channel and recently, yeah, it did me no favors. As a fan of the originals and the prequels, it just hurt me a lot. I'm over it now because again, Rise of Skywalker killed it. People don't want to remember. Thank God we have Mandalorian now. If we didn't, it would have been a hard decade to get through. We have Mando, Book of Boba Fett's coming out at the end of the year, and next year we get Mando season 3. So COVID or no COVID, we're going to get through this, and we're going to see more good Star Wars live action shows and movies that basically and cartoons that are much more cinematic than what we got in the last 6 years, easily. But anyway, yeah, the Clone Wars movies from 2008 sucks. I said it sucked back then. It still sucks today. So just go watch the TV show. You'll be much better, much more entertained than this. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll give another review hopefully a lot sooner than this. But thanks for watching, guys. See ya.